Very good. Feel free to the band.
They're under an order now. Judge.
Everything all right? Counselor, I have your folder here.
I thought that'd be pretty good humor.
Okay.
Go, Joe.
You're getting better and better at that all the time. How are you, Harold? Okay? Here, we're going to get ready. Hello. We're going to get ready for Christmas. No. No, I couldn't do that. Harold's been with me too many miles. I direct your attention to the balloon bladder, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it very closely. All the way from Brownsville. How about that? Oh, this isn't Millhouse. Millhouse is in here. Oh, you don't want to see this, do you? Bunch of sadists right down here in Dallas. All right, watch this. How about... You don't get up, all right? All right, get right in there now, Harold. Woo! How about that? Isn't that fun, huh? Now, don't tell anybody. I got to get on with the show. Hey, we got somebody here to take Harold off stage. He's little.
Details of the new integration plan were handed out to the news media at 11 o'clock this morning at the school administration building. The Fort Worth School Board went into special session at noon after studying the new plan overnight. The plan was formulated by Superintendent Julius Trulson and his staff after the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ordered full integration of the system by January 30th. Before the board closed the doors on today's discussions, Dr. Trulson explained how the plan will work if approved by the court.
We have made additional 10 clusters at the elementary level. We now call the center school, which is a second grade school, we call it a satellite elementary center. We call the schools who are paired with it feeder schools. Instead of having the 6 that we have had in the past, we will now have 16. And in these schools, we will have only the kindergarten and the second grade. And in the feeder schools, we will have grades 1, 3, 4, and 5. As you know, the courts require us to take the first grades and integrate them. The only way it can be done is by putting them with grades 3, 4, 5, because the second grade satellite centers cannot contain that many pupils. Secondary school, that's middle school and high school, can't be done until next August. It's an impossibility, not through any desire to drag our feet, but it's just a physical impossibility to do it. I can't, nor can anyone else.
In the integration of middle schools, Dr. Trulson said that Como Middle School will be closed. Morningside and Dunbar Middle Schools will be used as satellite centers. Eastern Hills High School and Dunbar High School will be paired, as will Southwest High School and I.M. Terrell High School. The plan will require the busing of almost 45,000 students. The school board will meet in regular session tomorrow evening, and they will hear from citizens on the proposed plan. Reverend John Leatherberry, president of the school board, said he does not approve of the closing of Como Middle School, and the entire board opposes the busing of first graders. Whatever is done, the plan for integration of schools must be on the desk of Federal Judge Leo Brewster by Monday morning for consideration by the court. The 91 buses the school system has ordered are supposed to be delivered by the January 30th deadline, costing more than $1 million. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
Terrell is doing very well. He was inaugurated against some real tough competition. His first game was against a boy that's being mentioned for All-American honors at Louisiana Tech, and this was a difficult situation for him, but he played well, and he's improving every basketball game, and all he needs is experience.
Coach, you're the pick to win the Southwest Conference Championship, but the race won't be an easy one.
No, it's never easy, and of course we're picked along with one or two other teams. Texas is also picked very high, but Texas A&M has an outstanding basketball team, and Texas Tech has been very impressive in the early season play, as has Arkansas. So it'll be a tough race just like it always is.
These are not your run-of-the-mill vagabond entertainers. The girl in pigtails is a drama major from Santa Clara University. The white-faced man with the balloon is a psychology major at Berkeley, and Nick Weber, the ringleader, is a Jesuit priest. He was reluctant to admit the fact, though, when I asked him about it. We're not trying to sell religion, he insisted, and the show isn't explicitly Christian. They charge very little for a performance and beg their room and board as they perform across the country.
Well, it lets me give to people what I think maybe they could like and enjoy. That's some kind of surprise or break from reality and the busyness of ordinary life. We're allowed to surprise people through the circus with magic and jokes and some plain, ordinary, useless fun. And I think that might be good for people these days.
How do you feel when some crusty old businessman kind of looks at you strangely dancing around in your costume?
I'm sort of used to it now, and so what I do is play a little game. If I can get him to smile by the end, then the circus has been a success for him.
A circus is a surprise, Nick told me. We just want to be a happy surprise. It certainly was. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judy Hanna in Dallas.
I was asked to fill in, and I was active. I'm not sure that my efforts were particularly fruitful. We had a great candidate, and I don't think he needed much help.
Is this a reward for your work?
No, not in any sense. If this were a reward, I'd hate to see someone getting a penalty.
How would you characterize yourself politically?
We really almost lost the art of communication, and that's one of the first things that I hope to do is just open up lines of communication.
You've indicated you want to get people back in the party. In doing that, won't you create some of the very communications problems that you hope to overcome as more minorities come into the fold?
I don't think so at all. Oh, no, I would disagree with you. Let me tell you that there's the commitment to continuing broadening participation in the political process is a commitment I have very strongly. The more people you get in participating, the better off you are.
The kind of industry and the kind of businesses that we have in Dallas and also in Fort Worth that are the kind that I think that we'd like more of and that we're the most pleased with involve financing, insurance, light industry, scientifically oriented businesses and manufacturing, and that kind of business doesn't have any need for a barge canal.
What the Dallas School District needs is for citizens to speak out for what is good, legal, and fair. So say members of the Alliance for Integrated Education in a news conference this morning. Mrs. Terry Lance, chairman of the Alliance, told me that perhaps the school district wasn't doing all it could to integrate the schools because of fear that the public would not back them. Concurring with that statement was former school board trustee Trini Garza and Nat Lacey of the Black Parents and Citizens Council. After the conference, I talked to Lacey, who told me that neither the school district nor the district residents has shown any excitement about making integration work.
I think what we need is a commitment to the process of struggling with integration, and we don't have that commitment, I feel, presently. We don't sense the excitement of change, the creativity that can be produced if we begin to invent solutions for our schools. Namely, how do we get a comprehensive, representative curriculum? How do we get sensitive, turned on teachers, administrators who want to be knowledgeable about other traditions other than whites and the white middle class? How do we, in fact, teach low-income children? I mean, really teach them so that they be interested in learning and education. I just don't think we've begun.
The Alliance says that members of its group will go to Austin to lobby for single-member districts for school board trustees. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is June Gray.
And therefore it needs to be closed, and that's the basic reason for it. If the facility was larger, the campus is not big enough. When the campus was built, it was built for an elementary school, and they added a middle school and senior high school with
Indeed, I don't know. We've got to go over integration plans for elementary schools, middle schools, and senior high. Your guess is as good as mine. Really, we do not know. I wouldn't.
All right. I figured for the first time, you know, that nothing could be better than doing it on your own. Yeah, that's true.
Is that what they call tipping the Texas tails?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to kill the Channel 8. Could we talk with you just right here?
Oh, I don't know. He said he had something set on engagement out there. I made it rather success. I'm very proud of him. It's boxed in. Good to be here now. I'm glad to be back with you. And I hope I've answered your questions. I have built a
civil works project in history has been longer sought and more intensively planned.
No, I'm not sure it's on the back. Now
down at the very bottom of the PR thing on the front page.
Just
Officers, an executive committee, and to start working.
My child goes to Longfellow. The notices were sent out the same day. And we see that as a valid kind of thrust. Wrong. A hierarchic system where you just school district being.
Legal order to segregation. Did you feel that the reason
We really need to have administrators and teachers understand
Thank you, Chico. Ask them to be quiet. They cannot hear, but they won't shut up either. Okay. So, if you all can turn the PA up, blast them out. Otherwise, I suggest that you ask the police to take them out of here.
That's a good idea.
I told them that this is supposed to be friendly, and if they can't be friendly, then they can just go home and hear it on TV.
The little lady was in the room. She went outside and tried to get them quiet.
Thank you.
We know in a short period of time, or I do in my case, that I will find out if my husband is alive or if he's dead. And it's like living on a volcano.
Do you feel satisfied that the government is doing what it can?
Yes, I do. I am a staunch backer of President Nixon, and I do feel that he is searching for a lasting peace. We may have to wait just a small while or a short while, but I do think that he is earnestly seeking what's right.
These men, police say, are linked with 7 other suspects arrested within the last 3 weeks. The burglary ring specializes in quick hits, smashing store windows with crowbars and escaping within 5 minutes with a wealth of merchandise. Although a majority of the suspects have been caught, police say they still need to make a few more arrests to completely crack the ring.
I don't feel that we have the funds in our budget to carry on the program. If we do find the funds, we'll have to strip existing programs. And if we have been good managers, then the existing programs should be valid already.
Everyone we took, they gave us $100. Well, somebody, I'm afraid to say this. One thing, then it was $50. Well, it took a couple of years.
Bill.
All right. All four of you are charged with burglary, which is a felony. Finally,
I don't really believe this, Jane. I've got the feeling Murphy Martin is better suited physically to this job. And I know for certain that Gooding is.
It's for the heavy drinker that you know.
No, now.
Beautiful thing. It has a chain, and you can wear it around your neck, therefore avoiding spills on your great carpet.
I hope the Heaven Shapiro doesn't walk in the door. It's all over.
We want to know if there's anything you want for Christmas.
We'll see you all later. Now what?
Now that sounds like an offer.
It's not an offer. It's a proposal and a contract signed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vern. You've
Thank
been
you
a
all.
super Santa.
Well, right now, assuming that Craig would not get well quick enough, Roger Staubach would start and play. We intended to play him anyway to a certain extent, not to start him, but I expect him to play a part of the ball game. We're not sure yet how serious Craig's virus is. If it's such that he'll be down for 2 or 3 days, it could change quite a bit our quarterback situation. But Roger would be the one that would step in and play.
Coach, how long do you plan to go with your starters Sunday?
We go as long as it takes to win. We intend to win the game if possible. We'll use our starters as long as we can. There will be some substitutions, probably only because of injuries. Garrison's been hurting lately. Newhouse will probably play. Mel Renfro's hurting quite a bit in the game against Washington. Mark Washington might get a chance to play some. Some of our defensive linemen, Bill Gregory may come in for Bob Lilly or something like that. But it's only because of injuries which we would substitute this game.
Coach, do you feel that George Allen threw up a smoke screen on crackback blocking and all of the media waded right into it?
Well, I think there's much been made out of it, and George usually has a reason for what he does, and I'm sure that he does have a reason for this. A lot of controversy over nothing, really, when it came right down to it. It's a very safe block. It's safer than all the crackbacks. The difficulty of the crackback is like Chuck Howley. When you set out wide, you come full speed with great momentum and hit a guy. When that happens to you, you can get hurt. But our block is a very simple block.
Rolene Shackelford of Ennis has double troubles at her home, which she claims the city of Ennis should take care of. So far, Mrs. Shackelford says the city has been uncooperative. I talked to this viewer last week about her problems.
Well, I live on 1603 Lindale, and there's a drainage ditch from the old Ennis Lake running down behind my house. And when it rains and everything, the debris and trash and everything gets right to my backyard and my neighbors.
What kind of problems did you have with your plumbing?
Well, especially when it rains. When it rains, everything comes back up into my house. We were getting ready to go to a football game, and it was raining one night, and water was coming in from under everything, in the lavatories, the bathtub, commodes, everything.
The city manager of Ennis, Terry Sweat, admitted that the city should clean out this storm drainage area. But Mr. Sweat told me that before the city can bring heavy machinery to the drainage area, all property owners along this drainway must give their consent. If homeowners will consent, the city of Ennis promises to clean up the drainway immediately. As for Mrs. Shackelford's sewer problems, the city does not feel their main sewer lines are at fault. But Mr. Sweat promises if the viewer has problems again, the city will dig up their sewer lines immediately to see where the sewer blockage really lies. A viewer from Aledo, Texas asked Contact 8 why the Aledo School Board will not permit girls to wear pants to school. In a recent vote, only one board member wanted the school dress code policy changed. The rest of the board feels that if pants for girls were approved, extremes might result. A Fort Worth viewer has a gripe with the gas company. The viewer says the gas people are billing him for an air conditioning job they never completed and threatening to turn off his gas. Contact 8 called the gas company. They checked their records and found their computers had made a mistake. The company says they will not bill the viewer until they complete the job and will not turn his gas off. If you have any problems or questions, write me at Contact 8, Communications Center, Dallas. Please include a stamped, self-addressed envelope. That's Contact 8. I'm Cecile Burant.
The statue, a student project at the Fred Douglass Elementary School, is designed to decorate the outside of the school. The only cost to the students was a little time and a lot of imagination. However, the statue had to be brought inside for completion because vandals were destroying this unique art creation. The uniqueness is that all 350 of the students in this West Dallas school helped construct the statue. Because of this project, the students have developed a sense of togetherness and comradeship. From working on the art creation, 4th grader Charles Hearn now wants to be a painter, and 11-year-old Ramona Rodriguez wants to become an art teacher.
The idea behind making the statue for this school was to develop pride and interest in the children in their own school. It's very interesting to watch them. They started out very skeptically, and they didn't really know what the idea was all about. But after it got going, then 1 or 2 children caught the idea, and then it went on and on from them. It was sort of contagious through the whole school.
The nice lady who had the idea for the statue was Mrs. Edith Salzberg, an art therapist. The entire statue was created by the students with a lot of help from Mrs. Salzberger, who comes in to survey the finished product. The 2-month paper-mache wooden, cement, and wire statue is finished, and all who gaze on it will truly see a splendid work of art whose price tag reads free. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is June Gray.
He couldn't do it because it was too wet, and there's no way it's going to dry up out there.
Latin America, do you fear for your position?
Frankly, no.
A question on government, General, if you don't mind. With Fidel Castro in Cuba and the recent election of President Allende in Chile, is this becoming a political trend in Central and South America, that is the Marxist communist beliefs?
To make opinions on the government is not my business, but I'd like to clarify that both of them got into government in different manners.
Well, is the Communist Party or the Marxist theme growing in Nicaragua?
I'm afraid not. After what they have seen what has happened to Cuba under the communist regime, they have become rather disillusioned.
Is your afraid not a positive afraid not?
Yes, it's a positive. I was trying to be as diplomatic as possible.
Another important aspect of our service is to prevent mental health problems, to get in touch with the residents of our community and with the teachers, the counselors, the people who deal with the problems, and to help them learn how to recognize them, and to help them get the skills and acquire those techniques that would enable them to solve some of their own problems. There'll never be enough of us to go around to everyone.
I see, Dolores, that there are a lot of doctors and counselors and other things. Are there any patients here that are helping in the programs of the mental health and mental retarded patients?
Yes, there are some patients serving punch here today, and there are patients in participating, but they're invited as community residents. True, they've used our services, but they're also helpful to us in other ways.
It's rumored that the mental health and mental retarded centers have problems getting places to house them, their units. So what about this?
Well, as I said, that's part of the reason we're inviting so many people in today, is to educate them about what mental health is all about, so that they can become involved and help us treat the people in their community and not see them as someone to be afraid of, but as their friends and neighbors, and become participants in the curing process.
Yeah, I'll sign my name first. Okay. It's pretty heavy, can't get right.
Okay.
This is attached to the water store. Called the Lockwood store. Another attached to this code. We have all most stores. I think some of these can come there, you don't go in. Yeah.
I hope that we can go in.
There's a couple. I'm peeling them apart here.
Like that?
Yep.
Oh, right there. Yeah, right there. Now get it good. Hold the branch.
Yeah, man.
General Samosa?
Good morning.
There are so many United States Secret Service men here this morning.
So there's a great opportunity for us to and has been invited by Mr. Jack Vandergrief of the Dallas Symphony Society to come here. So actually it stimulates the United States people to try to make the deal as fair as possible. Society, I don't understand it, but let me put it in a positive way.
Two grateful merchants picked up $2,700 worth of leather coats from the police property room today after 4 men were caught early this morning with the clothes in their car trunk, shortly after the downtown Bonds store had been burglarized. However, Bonds hasn't been the only burglary target this month. Detective Jerry Talbert told me that police recovered these clothes, worth $4,000, from a South Dallas apartment yesterday, and arrested 2 men believed to be fencers for a well-organized burglary ring. Police say the 4 men arraigned this morning in connection with the Bond store burglary are tied in with that ring, an operation that has hit at least one department store each night for the past month.
Security was unbelievably tight around the 18th floor of the Fairmont Hotel suite of General Anastasio Samosa, the former president of Nicaragua, now in charge of that nation's National Guard. Secret Service agents went through photographers' equipment and requested the showing of official press identification. My first question to the general was, why the tight security? At first I thought he wasn't going to answer. He told me why he was here, but he did answer eventually.
My wife and I are up here invited to assist to the inauguration of a new symphony hall that you are now going to inaugurate day after tomorrow. With respect to the question that you've asked me, it's a matter of the discretion of the government of the United States to put as many men that they think it necessary to take care of me.
The Samosa family has dominated Nicaraguan politics since the 1930s at least. And to quote one Secret Service agent who declined to be identified, he's not about to be assaulted while visiting in this country. This is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Yeah, but we're very concerned in preventing problems. We're trying today to get in touch with the community people, the residents, the pastors.
The people that have probably been invited as mental health and mental retarded patients. Dolores, are they all teachers and doctors and ministers, or why do you not have some of the patients working?
He's out here.
In response to our application,
take unprecedented action and have our chairman of the board accept.
The board tomorrow afternoon be briefed on this and bring it put out on the table.
That committee, Nancy. Now I want every.
We are above board today, 16 members, through the chairman, and if we did it's inappropriate, we want to know about it.
If the board so decide that we don't want to have any parts of it, then so be it. If we don't do that today, the meeting tomorrow will be a moot problem, a moot.
We can set it up simply. We sit down and explain to you. We won't take. Okay, now the OJT program is a very simple program. It's one of the best programs we have. We have literally thousands of veterans. They'll walk into an employer and they'll tell the employer, I'm entitled to draw my benefits. The employer says, well, how do you figure this? The employer is not aware of the program. A lot of times we have the veteran himself apply to us. We will go to the employer not knowing anything about it. We'll sit down with him and we'll work it out.